Hello and welcome to Asylum Atelier. Welcome to Creative Discourse. Welcome to my little studio here. And welcome to Bed Painting Friday. I see you, DM, there. That you're, as you mentioned, on time. I don't think I'm on time. I don't think we have actually any time lately or any specific schedule. So, but anyway, I'm happy to be here again, painting and creating alongside all of you guys. So I'm going to continue working on this bed painting that I started. I actually have to admit that I did a little change, not necessarily that dramatic, and luckily I stopped myself before continuing because I wanted to demonstrate something for students that they were here in the studio with me, and I was talking about the same concepts as I discussed with you here in our creative discourse all the time, and that's the fact that there is not necessarily a wrong thing to do here. It's only that exploration of all the what new word would I use so I don't repeat myself? It's just the exploration of a drama. That might be something new that we haven't discussed yet. Let me just adjust a little bit here because I don't think I have to do something. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to spill this water that is right here with my feet. Okay, let's hope that I'll be okay. Because there is a lot of wires and electric stuff all around the studio, so I can actually film this or actually stream this properly. Well, as let me rephrase the whole thing. There is a lot of cables and random stuff, excuse me, laying on this wooden floor right here. So I don't want to spill any water. That would be just not cool. Anyway, you can see that it changed slightly. There are commercials going on. Okay, so I'll wait. Meanwhile, I'm just going to set up some other things that I need here. So let me squeeze real quick some pigments, and I'm going to be even stingier than the last time. That's something that and stingier. I mean, I'm gonna use less pigment because I'm not sure how much I will need. And last time we talked about that drying process and how to work with that a little better. So I'm just going to be a little bit more cautious here. Let me know whenever you guys are back from the commercial. Okay, I'm going to use this yellow. Okay, just a bit. Because maybe I won't use it as much or need it as much. I still have some, I have blue. Am I going to continue with this blue? Yeah, let's continue with this cheaper blue, which is again completely different value there. Back from ads. Okay, cool. Thanks, DM, that you are helping me to time myself properly. So I just squeezed the pigments meanwhile, so I was not talking about anything specific. But what I want to get into is that the redness that you see right now there, that looks like a, what would be the word? Desert storm? I don't know. It's pretty bad. And the reason why I did this, I was actually explaining that discovering the drama, and I was pointing to all the necessary work that needs to be done before I actually pull the trigger, quote unquote, and start painting on the large canvas. Or not, it doesn't necessarily need to be large canvas. lately, it has been large canvases for me. But it can be any size. It doesn't really matter. I'm talking about the final canvas. And one of the things was that I felt that it's kind of too overworked, too much information there, and it's not, it isn't simplified, and the sketch started to kind of fall apart a little bit because of the decisions that I made previously. And I had multiple options how to address them. Since this is a bad painting Friday, and I was actually talking about these bad paintings as well, I just went straight ahead with the first thing that I had in my, around me, which was like a little sepia. That's the word. I think that's the word that I'm looking for. A kind of or sanguine, or whatever the proper name of the red chalk, you can call it even, I don't know, red pastel. It doesn't really matter. It's a really soft medium that you can draw with. And I just went and I covered it completely. And I was talking about how much I do not necessarily care, but how much freedom I am giving myself to do whatever I want. That's probably the best way to describe this. And then I stopped, paused, and I mentioned that, I'm not going to continue on this. I'll show you a different example because this is for Bad Painting Fridays. So I just, as it was the last time, I just completely, I like the redness, by the way, with a bit of a sky blue peeking out. Well, and that's DM, you were again right. Well, I think you are ahead of me, but yes, that's the idea, the unifying everything together and creating kind of another layer that I can right now work with. There are multiple options. What could I do right now? First, I have to, let me just jump away a little bit because I need the paper towels. So I'm gonna grab a paper towel and yeah, I already spilled the water here. Okay, cool. Yeah, man. It wouldn't be my stream without any kind of disasters and damages all over the place. So, red, it's more like a dull orange, not red. It is orange, it's red, it's whatever it wants to be. And the reason why it is so is because there is that effect that right now it's in full effect, I guess, that I see some might call it broken color, some call it as optical mixing. You might heard that. Basically what's happening right now is that some parts of that sanguine or whatever red charcoal or orange charcoal are opaque, and some of them are transparent, and some of them when you mix them when you mix them through the transparency, and if you put, let's say, red over blue, you might start seeing purples. So all these things are happening right now. There are a little bit of reds, purples, darker values, lighter values, and it's really weird effect that it's happening there. But still, it's these are those effects that are helping me with that creativity, or when I'm stuck with something and I'm not sure if I like it or dislike it. So I'm gonna right now do a couple things with it, and like I said, on that like a charcoal, on that acrylic underpainting of this sketch that was there that we discussed last time, of different brush strokes and thicknesses and so on and so forth. I'm continuing with exploration, and another step would be, why not to add another medium or other idea that could help me to deal with certain issues here. So I have a paper towel, and if you can see right now in this area right here where I'm pointing with my finger, so I'm not sure. So this, you see like that little blueness there, as you also pointed out, you DM. Did the water touch any wires? No, it didn't. Luckily, it didn't. It's just the little spills around. But since this is a wooden floor, I have to be careful so it doesn't, you know, seeps into and start destroying these this beautiful hardwood floor. So because there are some, since this is a historic building, there are some, you know, some damage here and there. So it's not completely sealed. So I have to be careful with it. Anyway, I have a paper towel, and you see these blue spots right here, as I was mentioning. So these are the ones that I purposely then wiped with the finger, and I stopped myself then okay, I'm not going to continue, and I'm going to leave this for a bed painting Friday. You can also see right now, like this area right here, which is kind of really almost like it looks like something was just painted there, and the reason is because this is extremely overworked. The other thing that actually, as an added bonus, by me smearing the red pastel or sepia or whatever, sanguine, whatever you want to call it, there, it kind of highlighted this overworked area, which I really worked hard into because I was looking for all the angles and I was moving it back and forth all the time. So it really looks overworked right now. So I have to address that. I have multiple ways to do that. And also it showed me that it's really impasto. That means that there is a lot of pigment right there, and it's kind of going towards me in terms of relief. Like it has a sculptural feeling almost that is just pushing towards me. And the standard idea of this is we prefer, and when I say we, I'm talking about specifically painting and all painters, we use these this thicker paint most of the time same way as sculptors would, which is the peak of the form or the highest point of the form. So, and I don't want this to be the highest, the peak, the form. I don't want it to be pushing forward and then getting towards the viewer and kind of fighting for attention. So that's a added bonus, just a quick thing. I kind of like what happened here in this area. Let me just get my fingers out of the way. Like here, I'm sure that it's not as easy to see on the camera, but it gives me kind of a nice, weird, random shape that showed a little bit of the edge, and also it kind of get lost. So that's something that's happening here. And if we're going to take something away from this Bed Painting Friday today, that would be the little happy accident. So instead of, it has a but. Instead of relying on this happy accident, I am consciously thinking about, oh, I like this. I am putting this little piece, this image, into my mental library, and I'm whenever I will have a similar issue throughout the painting with the different paintings or in a different creative project, I'm going to remember that I can use something like this because I like it very much. I almost wish that something similar happens here, because that would kind of help a composition, right? So yeah, right now I can start wiping away that charcoal, or actually that sanguine medium there, because it's still in its I did not fix it with anything, so it's in the kind of a dry state. I also can take a eraser and start erasing it similarly, and you can see immediately how this is starting to lighten up, and I'm starting to see the underpainting. And that's the key thing right here, that I have some random underpainting underneath, and I can right now start playing with the eraser and kind of a subtract instead of add constantly. It's not always about adding more and more. Sometimes it's about kind of understanding what is, let me just adjust this, understanding what's happening with your painting, and try a different approach, or I don't want to say hidden approach, but willingly and consciously I'm trying to get out of that repetitive mode that I'm in. Because the moment I'm in the repetitive mode, I tend to not create anymore, just to follow something, right? So I'm very, very careful about this specifically. Another thing that I can do, and we're going to probably play with all of this, but it has for me, it has always that steps that I start with paper towel, because I'm taking just the top layer, the ones that it's loose on the surface. Then I'm coming with eraser, which is taking away a little bit more, and then I can also take a brush, and I have two options. The brush can be simply dry, and again, kind of wiping away, or even better, smearing it or smudging it around, making it softer, all these areas right here, and it's partially revealing some underlying surface. Another point that I wanted to mention is that since I already have kind of a textured surface, that sanguine, that soft medium, dry medium, it's kind of grabbing on some areas, and it's really difficult to get it out. You have to use eraser. And some areas are smooth because the application of a pigment underneath was smooth. So therefore I can kind of smear it away. And you can see that this blue and this blue right here at the beginning, I remember when I was putting it there, they were very, very similar. But since there is a smudge of the redness right now on top of the blue, I'm getting a little bit more of that kind of a purplish feel to it. So these are, and then also the last but not least, I can grab a little bit of water, and then I can actually start drawing into it with the water and a little bit of the medium, just giving it kind of like a loose, fun, kind of a feel to it. But you have to be careful with this because you are starting to incorporate that pigment with underlayer. But these are all valid methods. And then of course, I can start actually adding some actual acrylic pigment on top of it. So there's a lot of stuff that we can right now do with this and continue developing that overall composition and the sketch with this almost, I don't want to call it, let me just adjust this because it's really cold in my studio again. So what I'm trying to say is that there is never, unless you completely destroyed your surface, there's never in my mind, I don't doubt that I can start working on top of it till the end of the world, if I so choose, right? It wouldn't be necessarily beneficial to work on this over and over again, because then you might find yourself in a kind of a vicious circle that you cannot get out from. But it also can give you these kind of random, beautiful ideas. Funny you mention it because I'm kind of in a similar journey trying to get out of it. I can see what you mean. It's a random indeed. Yes, yes, DM. It's very random, and if you are in that repetitive mode, you just applying a same thing over and over again, and somehow I think that that's a it's a saying. How's the saying goes? It's that well, I can. Well, it's gonna come to me. Um, I'm really stuck right now with it. It's almost there, and I'm gonna probably just paraphrase it. Stupidity is not about making mistakes, but it's about making the same mistake and expecting a different result, right? So I'm paraphrasing it. So it's the same thing. If I want to change something with the process or with the result, I have to change something throughout the process. And it does not necessarily mean that you're going to change a different medium, but it could actually be just switching to to put it upside down, right? As I tend to all the time, just to see a composition from a different point of view. And we can actually continue working on this for the rest of the day this way. Because there is no one stopping me from working here, being really abstract and looking for some nice, pleasing abstract shape. Maybe this is even better composition. Maybe I should focus on a composition like this. And thinking what this abstract shape could represent. Perhaps that's one of the things that would benefit the painting, or the sketch, or the creative process, or whatever you're working on. Just giving yourself a chance to look at it from a different perspective. It's I think that, and again, these are just my personal beliefs, and they are based on my experience that either worked or didn't. And it does not necessarily mean that it's going to work for you. This is something that works for me, and whenever I find myself in this kind of a weird position, that's what I do. So yeah, I'm gonna probably, and also the other thing, since this is all starting to go all over the place and I'm using different materials, I can always come here with a completely dry medium and perhaps start doing something. A dry medium is, again, I have like a little Conte white crayon, and I can start maybe working with the white one right now, just to have fun, just to give it a little bit more of a something that is happening, right? And it doesn't need to be anything specific. It's just feeling the surface and contrast and maybe some abstractness, letting my arm basically do whatever it wants, together with my eye, of course. So it just moves. I'm trying to move it the way that perhaps my eye could move, or there could be something interesting there. There's so many ways how to deal with a situation like this. I can even take a larger brush and just brush it off completely if I don't want to see the whiteness there. Right? And ultimately, I can just start placing some pigments there immediately, right? So, or I don't like this area right here, but I wanted to keep kind of in a, I wanted to take it back, so I can take it back right now. As easy as this, right? So a little bit of a pushing back and forth with the material, which I really like. Another thing that I'm really thinking about is that maybe I could use. Well, I'm pretty sure that I could use. Oh, there it is. Okay, got it. I could use my go-to instrument when I paint, and that's a sandpaper, and I might actually start sanding in some areas. Or sanding down rather, And again, it's going to give me slightly different results there. So as you can see, the bad painting Friday, or bad painting in general, is just it's probably not necessarily at this point the best way to describe what we're working on together. It's more about you know, opportunity day. It's just it's endless ways how we can actually, I'm thinking about that, even I can scratch out, which I used to do before, so I can just scratch in and make some hatch marks. And if everything else fails and I don't know what to do, I still can, since this is acrylic and the acrylic paint is definitely a good base, because we use acrylic gesso and there's no difference between, it is a little difference, but basically acrylic gesso is the same thing as acrylic paint, so I can start working with oils on top of this. So there is literally, I don't even, it almost feels like you can do one of these things and focus only on one of these things, one of these methods, and you can push it further away. And whenever you add another kind of a, let's say that we're working only with palette knife and we're scratching out, right? The moment I exhaust all the scratching out possibilities, I can introduce a sandpaper, which exponentially increases the amount of options that I have. And if I add, let's say, then dry brush and perhaps that medium, I'm actually increasing these options to almost, you know, very quickly to infinity, which is great because that's what we want. So it's only up to you, or solely up to you, how do you decide to continue? What will be the best way? I'm probably going to use all of them at once, just because I don't want to, again, limit myself with some. Or maybe we can start with just maybe sandpaper and start sanding away a little bit to kind of, you know, smoothen the surface. Maybe that would work. I don't know. Let's see. Let me try to sand down a little bit to see what's happening here. And I'm sending out immediately. I went to in that problematic area of mine, on mine particular work, because I want to see what's happening here. I should probably move this for now, so the dust is not going into my pigments and I don't pollute them. So I'm very lightly erasing some of the areas, some of the right? Because I want to get a little bit more of that texture away, or not a little bit more away, that's just that I want to smoothen that texture a little bit. And the reason why I'm doing it, because I want to reserve the texture for the areas that matters to me. I like to think of this as some kind of a hierarchy, not necessarily hierarchy, that's a different word, what word that I'm looking for. Maybe like a visual, yeah, maybe visual hierarchy, it's a right word. Basically, what I'm thinking about is that how am I going to make the viewer, you know, focus on the areas and move throughout the painting, move throughout the composition. So I have a color, I have a value, I have a shape, I have edges, and all these things. So the main area or the focal point should have all of them, if I so choose, and if I really want to stress it. Right, so compositionally, I is going there. Then also the highest contrast, in values, the contrast, that saturations are there. Also the edges are there, the most of that. Right, so And then also the texture, right? The thicker paint. It's in areas, if you so choose. It's not mandatory. It's just I am reserving it for, you know, like highlights. I'm thinking about then every step as a highlight. Like if I add the highlight, that will be the last last piece of paint there. And right now, if I have two areas that deserve to highlight, right? So one would have a highlight, it means that it would be lighter value in that area, or the lightest value. And another highlight, if I want it to be better, or on the hierarchy a little higher, I would make it with a little bit more of a texture. It means that would be thicker, right? So that would be something that's the reason why I'm trying to reserve these thicker areas or textured areas. I'm slowly kind of exploring this, and I'm always, you see me stopping and thinking about, maybe I like it, maybe I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. It's just it's for fun. And you can see that little no, probably maybe it's difficult, but maybe it is. If I point it out a little bit easier to see, you see this kind of a brush stroke right here. That's the wet brush that I use, right? So it because I was already kind of erasing here, so it's not as visible. But here you can clearly see that's a little bit of that brush strokes, right? So, and I'm thinking about, like, as it continues here, and the brush stroke you see kind of extending it, the composition. So I might actually think of this as some kind of helping that diagonal, right? Or maybe not necessarily helping, maybe it's destroying the overall composition, right? But as it is right now, let me maybe just move it this way to see what's up. No, it's not bad. Well, let me just do it this way so you can see it as well, hopefully. Yeah, right? So I'm again looking at on overall painting, and immediately I saw something. Again, the last time I mentioned this, that the distance between here and here is the same or very similar to here and here, and this to this. So it's divided into thirds, and I really hate that. I really hate that. It's driving me crazy because it's creating kind of a flag effect. I don't want to have a flag there. So something has to happen there. And this is maybe a nice opportunity for me to kind of maybe sand it down and connect it a little bit, so I don't see necessarily the division between these. And I even put the accent there, which was probably, not probably, I can tell that it was a mistake on my part. So let me just maybe sand it a little bit and open it a little bit more. I can also getting a little rid of it, getting rid of it a bit. It's a tongue twister. All right, so right now I'm looking at the composition and I see this direction. I like this. I like the little point right here, but this right now bothers me. And it's because we moved the line last time a little bit more here, which pushed him a little bit towards this this side. A little bit of scratching right here to reveal a little bit of underneath. Okay, so I don't like this, and this. Also, it's creating kind of a weird weird separation, or a weird kind of a dots right there. So maybe this could go, and again, I don't need to go necessarily immediately with paint. I just put a little bit of a white chalk on top of it, so it's making it lighter, because I just visually I want to get rid of it in terms of value, because when I squint my eyes, I just see darker and lighter areas, right? So it could disappear there, right? And it's slowly kind of faded away. Yeah. This definitely needs to be sanded a little bit, because I can see that this part is overworked as well. So I'm gonna add, or subtract rather, but then add a little bit of a lighter value here, because I know that I have a lighter pigment underneath. Let me just move a little bit away from there so I can see it from a distance. Yeah, not bad, not bad. So moving back and forth, pretty cool. Let me. Let me see. Okay, I think it's okay. I also have my mirror right here to see it upside down real quick, or flipped. Okay, not bad. So I'm gonna keep playing with that. With that sandpaper. Also, another thing immediately when you look at it, and these are, you have to, well, you don't have to do anything, but you should be aware of things like this. You see how I kind of erased it here, and it's a transition. You see like this, it's starting to correspond with this and with this and with this, and it's getting that unwanted repetition, right? So I want to use these things consciously, I want to use these accidents again, because they will be, this is the accident that I don't really think that helps. It's helping composition. This is an accident that kind of making it, again, similar. And the similar most likely because I'm used to use my hand a certain way, right? Because it's a natural movement. This is the most natural way for me to do. Same with the sanding. So perhaps I should push it this way a little bit. And maybe I could continue with that feeling of arc. So I'm gonna push it here a little bit more. And when I said arc, I mean this arc right here, right? And you might think this has nothing to do with painting. Well, it does and it doesn't. In terms of, yeah, I'm not applying a pigment on top of the surface, but I'm still creating a composition, and I'm creating a transitions, soft transitions, right? Another thing that's kind of going against me in this particular way is the fact that the surface, since it's a cardboard, it's kind of a wavy naturally, so I have these lines this way, and especially when I'm sanding it down, I can see them. But then also they're creating kind of a random valleys, peaks and valleys. So I don't know. I might be using all of these imperfections. Let's see. I mean, there's not, you know, there's so many other options that we could try. Cool. And maybe, I'm thinking that maybe I could introduce a little bit of a little bit more detail. And when I say detail, a little bit more refined overall shape, because I think that this goes, thinking what would be the best. Yeah, even though I like this right here, I'm thinking about the position of that, because if it's, yeah, it has to go this way. It has to go this way. And the reason why it cannot be, angled this way, I'm seeing it right now, because if and this has something to do with perspective and understanding perspective, because if it's angled this way, it means that I am looking at it, what would be the, let's try this as an example. So I'm looking at it like so, right? Looking at it like so, and I need it to be moved this way, because it's leaning towards me. That's my idea. That's leaning towards me. Let me maybe just what is going on? Come on. Okay. So what I'm thinking about, where's my, well, let's use this one real quick. What I'm thinking about is that I'm going to try to draw it real quick. So maybe I need white to draw it with white and red, so it's kind of invisible. Okay. So in the perspective, this is not going to be seen. I'm trying to show you what I mean with the perspective. I guess I have to grab my charcoal. Give me a sec. Maybe I should wheel this in. Okay. Yep. I don't have enough surfaces that I can put things on top of. So let me introduce another one, improvised one, with charcoal, which is just a chair. Okay. It's kind of funky. Oh. All right. I'm just brewing a tea. I'm sorry. Okay. So charcoal, where are you? Here you are. So what I was thinking about, where do you see a little bit? So if I have a cube, can I work here? Is this dry? So if I have a cube, and let's say we're looking at it from the top, right? And this is really I don't know if you can see it, hopefully. And I want to rotate it. So let's say that it would have a kind of a, let me just draw it there. which is very crude. If you would have some kind of a option to rotate, I guess that the easiest would be on the z-axis. No. It would be on the I'm stuck right now because I'm trying to remember how do I have it in Blender. I know that the one that goes up, it's Z, and then I have Y and X this way. I don't remember. It doesn't really matter. Let me just then, let me erase this because I kind of got, I confused myself. Where did I put my eraser? Maybe I should do this. Yeah, this is better. Okay, so I'm gonna put this one right here, and hopefully it's going to be visible. So if I have a cube, right, and I'm gonna just pretend that it's the whole kind of a fuselage there, right? And I want to, this is that invisible backside right there. And if I want to, this is the center right here, this is the center right here. And if I want to rotate this cube this direction right here, so it's moving right so, right? So you can see that these lines that were parallel to each other, and actually they were straight up and down, if I move them, they're going to move this direction right here, like so. And I'm going to start seeing more of the, more of the side, more of the top part, and less of the side, and the edge moved to this direction, right? So if I have it this way, it feels that it's turning that direction rather towards me, right? So I have to be, I don't know if this is visible there very much, but we can talk about these positions maybe some other day in kind of a, you know, in a perspective digital way. It's easier for me to describe it digitally, well, not to draw into it and move and rotate things in Blender instead of just drawing it around. Yeah, you can see it, DM. Okay, all right. So at least that, it's visible. If it's not beneficial as an information, because it might be confusing, because it implies multiple ideas. First, that you understand a linear perspective, and then you have to understand inclined planes in two-point perspective, because this was a two-point perspective. So it requires more than just a general understanding. If you, well, it requires more than just knowing what the linear perspective is. You have to be able to use it and apply it in, I don't even know how to say it. I'm using it, my brain for it. Like, I can rotate these things in my head, and it's just it's natural kind of a evolution of my brain. If whenever you want to work from pure imagination and you are not using reference pictures with sketching, you have to simply know these things. You just, there is no other way around of that. It's just you have to know them, and not know them. You have to be able to rotate these simple forms and simple shapes in perspective. There's a bunch of great books that describe this and show you how to do it. So I would recommend you to get some of them. I think that DM, we talked about one of those books. Did you have it as well? I think it's what's the name of a author? Let me check my library. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. I forgot which book. Yeah, let me just bring it. It's Scott Robertson with Thomas Bertling, this one. I don't know if you can, this one. I think that we discussed this. There are two of them. One is this drawing in perspective or sketching, and he has multiple of them. I think there is also a like newer edition, I believe, and this is yeah, you have that. Yeah, I think that we talked about this previously. So this is something that I bought really, really long time ago, and it has like a, you know, you can put the app. It has an app. I think that it's like a design studio, and I think that also they, if I'm not mistaken, I think that they did, or they have something to do also with that famous book for illustrators, or famous, very popular amongst, as a good example for students that they want to work with comic books and graphic novels. I think it's called Framed Ink. I don't have that book, but I'm familiar with it. So I think this is a similar studio. So basically, what I'm doing here is it's very technical, but I love it. It is, well, here's the thing. It is technical. It's very technical, but these are the things. These technical things help you to see and understand the construction and divisions and separations, and you know how to create thirds and how to split things and how to make things symmetrical in perspective. So it's yes, it's very technical, but since I really like 3D objects and 3D stuff, this is very natural to me. I kind of when I'm looking at that, even though it's super technical, it still makes sense to me. Even the complicated ones, they still make sense to me. And I actually learn a lot from this book. Not necessarily just from reading, but just seeing how he deals with certain problems. And this is actually very helpful when you are sculpting from imagination. I think it's called hard surface modeling, I believe, because these are not human forms, or these are more like right angles. So, yeah. Yes, I've recommended that book to other artists. Let's say they didn't like how technical it was, so not everyone can appreciate it. Yeah, it is very technical. So I would recommend maybe starting with just the basic, very, very basic linear perspective. And then when you understand the linear perspective, then you should, move forward with this. But that's what this bed painting is about. Exploring and having fun and correcting certain mistakes. And I wouldn't be able to see it unless certain conditions happened, and one of them is a mirror to see it upside down, and it immediately creates the feeling that, okay, if this is going inside this way, I have to start thinking about how is this going to, because I don't want to have the same angles all over the place. How am I going to deal with this situation? Also, what to do with this nice, you remember at the beginning I mentioned that how much I like the randomness, the happy accident that it's right here. Well, it has to go. And that shows you that, happy accident is not necessarily always the one that is going to be in the final project. Well, simply, I like how it looks, but it breaks the illusion and the rotation, and it's just, I can't leave it there. Simply, I can't. Let me just get more tea. I'm talking too much again, right? Describing stuff that does not need to be. So that's probably something that I need to address. I also have to figure it out how to continue with this then. Should I then go here and then here, maybe a little lower? Let me grab that white chalk and see. I'm playing only with shape right now, so instead of just going there with acrylic pigment, I'm just moving things around. And I'm hoping that something's going to stick. And maybe I could push it here as well. And the reason why I'm deleting this, quote unquote deleting, is because I have to see the shape in its entirety. I first just suggested it there, made a little adjustment, and when I was convinced that it needs to go, I moved it away, or actually, covered it. Yeah, definitely. This looks way better, and I'm starting to seeing right now what I want, and maybe this could go a little lower here. Maybe I could move it a little bit more this way to drop it like so. And here, maybe I could use a little bit more of that, there is a little bit of that redness there. Just because I need slightly darker value, not because I want it to be red. Right, so I'm looking, and you can see how slowly I change the shape. And I'm thinking maybe this way here. And these are very, very small adjustments. This is nothing, nothing major. If I push it this way, maybe. Let me see. And we're going to have another advertisement in 3 minutes. So I'm just, heads up. Okay, this might be better. I kind of like this a little bit more right now. That shape. Yeah, let me correct it even more. Let me maybe go. Maybe I could go a little steeper here, and then this could go here, and here, and here. Okay, maybe it's time for me to use a little bit of that acrylics. Just grab, where's the brush? There it is, there's my brush. Okay, I got it. I want to use this one. Okay, I need slightly darker value there, so let me just go with the blue and that orange and make this slightly darker. I need more pigment. So I pushed it here a little bit, which is not bad. Maybe just adjust the shape a little bit. And you can see that I'm even, the brush strokes that I'm using right now are a little bit more conscious because I want to replicate a certain direction. I'm trying to use the texture right here, which is kind of a, which would give me the kind of a, not necessarily, not only directional, but also kind of a, that texture, it's providing another benefit. Different texture feels like it's a different material. All right, so if I want to create a different materials, I have to be conscious about a certain okay. I have to be conscious about these added benefits. A bit more water there. That was maybe a little too much. Let me just get rid of this. Okay, and this needs to be moved. Softening it a little bit. All right, right now it's too symmetrical in terms of that, I don't see necessarily the right angles. So let me just correct it. So this one is right here, going down there, connecting here. All the way behind, this way, here. And again, I'm making it darker, but it has to be, it cannot be that dark right here, because as it recedes into background, it should not necessarily disappear, but more contrast should be here than there in the back. So I'm gonna darken it slightly. Okay, I'm free from Ads Gel again. It's looking so good. Well, I can always, maybe I should, turn off those ads so they don't bother us. But remember, those ads are there for, you're taking breaks a little bit from creating and drawing. Remember, we discussed this. If those ads are going to be unbearable, I'll just get rid of them. Just let me know. So I'm moving this around a little bit more. So maybe this could go this way and this way. So I'll just make it a little a little longer, a little bit more buried here in that. So I'm moving back and forth with that shape, searching for what would be the best representation. And it, it's all because I still have, I did a bunch of other sketches, but some of them I have here, and I want to, you see, like I want to better understand what's happening, and I'm using these as an example because these are probably the like a most the easiest to read, right? So I'm probably somewhere here right now in this sketch. I moved from this to this, right? When I pushed him a little bit more, because I have, a little bit into background, but still, I feel like there's something that nicely works here as this shape. So I have to figure something out there. Perhaps the fact that he's lower even, right? That might be actually another good idea to test. It's true, I'm working with the Blender at the moment, so I get plenty of micro breaks due to rendering. I am making basic form references to sell as a digital product. Knowledge will be given for free, of course. It's more for people who's not good with 3D and want to practice study forms. That's awesome. That's awesome, DM. What basic forms are you working on? You mean just like a cylinder and a cube and that kind of stuff? But do you know what? I kind of, I'm sorry, I'm just jumping back and forth. I also like this kind of a, it's just pushing it towards this direction a little bit more. And there's kind of like a cloud area right here. These are all kind of boring. But this one and this one, they're a little bit more active because of the position. This is proportionally, this looks way better than this. Maybe if I put this a little bit higher. Okay, all right. There's a couple ideas. There are a couple ideas in my head right now. Like sphere, cylinder, pyramids, cone, yeah. Putting them together or put them in a weird light situation that they might find it interesting. I also add some basic examples like how to find, terminate a line, etc. The cheat sheet, so it's not just references, and how it reacts to sharp, small, direct light and soft light, ambient light and reflected light. The stuff. That's great that you're working on this. I'm still. This is funny. Even today, I still refer to these things all the time in my work because I can't really remember everything all the time. So repeating these forms and keeping yourself kind of up to speed with all the nuances all the time, it's really, really good. I applaud that, man. I really, really applaud that. That's great, DM. I should do it more often myself, actually. Even more often. Even though I'm still referring to this, maybe it should be kind of my daily practice. Okay, so I have this. Maybe I could drop here and here. I'm still in that kind of a shape, not knowing what to do with the shape phase. So I'm not rushing anywhere. But then maybe I could push this a little bit more this way. Maybe, I don't know. So it doesn't, hit the 3/4 marks. Maybe I could push this a little higher. A little. Right here, and then this go this way right here. So the direction, it's from here. I would give them away for free if I have money, but for now I gotta do what I can do. I try to follow your principle, though that knowledge itself is free. Well, not just your principle, it's also mine. I have the same feeling that world needs it. Yeah, that's great. I'm so happy that I'm not the only one. I was sure that I'm not the only one who thinks that way. But I'm happy that you are also participating in that endeavor. It makes me really, really. Is that how would I even put this? Is that good feeling of creating something that helps others with their endeavors, that makes me feel alive? And where did I put the other eraser? Where did I put the little eraser there? I don't know. I'm blind as a bat. Okay, let me. Maybe this should go a little bit more this way. And I'm still working here only with that, with the shape. And if I just, what if just end it here? And then this could go like lighter here. A little bit, a little transition. Cover this as well. I'm just trying to make it this shape maybe a little smaller. But then the Oh, the gnome stole your eraser. That's why. I forgot that I have these little gnomes right here that really, really, really making me look bad on stream. What if I just, maybe this could go like so here. A little bit of like a reflection right here. Reflected light rather from the ground. And it needs to be okay, and maybe this could go a little bit more. A little more this way. So I would just kind of push the angle a little bit more, because I think that that will give me a little bit more of a that kind of a feeling. Okay, I see what's happening right now. Okay, got it. This one is to go here, here, and here. Okay, so another thing was that as soon as I moved the boat part or kayak or whatever we're gonna call it, fuselage, if we're talking about because I'm working simultaneously on two compositions. One is with plane and one is with the boat. So if you think of this as a fuselage, so it's turning more towards me, and if we think of this as a kayak, the opening of the kayak, it's pointing more towards us. Therefore, if I want to keep that feeling of, falling on one side, which is the main idea, I have to make this a little bit more under the angle, which would help maybe even the composition if it would go this way. A little bit more. Yes, I like this way more, because that's just, it helps this. There is a little bit of here, and I like this kind of a transition and the shape right here. Okay, this might work a little better. Yep, and then give me a chance to open this a little bit more even. So show this small depression here. Yep. Okay, cool. So let me maybe just, and you remember I was moving this shape. It was here at one point, right? So I'm not afraid, again, to move these things. This is just all having fun. And if I move this a little bit more this direction, it's giving a little bit more of a urgency. So it looks like okay. So what I was missing was that tilt first, or the rotation of the a little kayak, and then I need to rotate also the figure, and it should be, because right now it felt like it's leaning back, and I need to lean it on the side more. So I would have to create a little bit more of a perspective here, right? So, and when I say perspective, again, I need to see a little bit more top of the head, this part, rather than just the front, right? Because it's pointing towards me a little bit more. But also, another thing that I don't like is that right now it's a little too, and again, the head wants to fall into the center. Not necessarily if I move it here, this way, a little bit. That might help as well. Okay, all right. So let me just grab a brush. This can go here. And maybe I should start using some references. It will be, maybe that's what's missing. Maybe I'm being too stubborn. Slightly lighter and slightly oranger. What I'm doing right now, I'm mixing a little bit more of the orangey pigment. So I kind of harmonize that, and I'm getting rid of the previous. Oh yeah, this looks better. This looks way better. A little bit of dark value, darken it just a touch. I need to squeeze a little bit more of that red orange. maybe a little cooler. Okay. All right, let me just correct this as well. Maybe a little darker. Maybe even more. Even darker. What I'm doing right now, I want to correct this shape right here a little bit. So I can better read it. Okay, yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Okay, let me just go a little back and see it from a distance. Oh yeah, right now it has that urgency that I was looking for with the shape. Okay, cool. And when I say urgency, I mean that it's about to, that it's falling and you can't prevent it anymore. That's the feeling that I was looking for. All right, cool. These are very difficult things for me to do because somehow my brain wants to balance everything properly. So, so I have to be aware of this. Since I'm trying to create to develop, no, it's not even the right word. Since I'm trying to add the drama to the painting or to this sketch. Okay, cool. Maybe a little bit of a kind of a lighter value, and I'm trying to mix pigments that are very close to what I have here. So this would be the new path. Okay. Then it could probably go higher up. Let me see if I can move it a little bit higher. So it could be then all the way here. I think this could work. And I should start placing something a little bit more specific there. And when I say specific, I don't mean like eyes and nose and stuff like this. I mean a little bit more. When I say specific, I mean to get some of these lines just being a little bit more so it would be this way right here. The question is how deep in that kayak is that figure that I'm planning to insert there. So does it have, is it standing on something? There is like a little, there's kind of a little, see, I still want to correct it to this direction because my brain is forcing me and telling me that, dude, it's just the figure is falling. And it's kind of like a deformation in my head from all these figure drawings where, you know, we were focusing on proper balance. A figure is actually standing properly on the ground, so it's not falling. And right now I'm trying to push it and make it that it's falling. It's a little bit more challenging, to say that, to tell you the truth. All's good. All is good as long as we can. As long as I'm not afraid to move things around. So. I'm slightly changing because it was too saturated. Too bright of a pigment, so I wanted to get it a little bit less. Yeah, way better. Right now this needs to be corrected. Further away. Okay, slowly but surely. So we have a left, we have a right. Right now it has a little bit of urgency, a lot of urgency because it's kind of, oh, okay, all right. See, Bad Painting Friday has some benefits today. Production value is that after 2 or 3 really, really bad Painting Fridays, and imagine that I've been doing this for a while. Well, I would say a decade, so. And I struggle with this because this has nothing to do with being a good painter or bad painter. This has everything to do with your own imagination and how far you can push it. So I'm playing with that a little bit. Okay, this could be darker, but this. So what I'm thinking about is maybe if I add a little bit of this kind of a I want to get rid of these kind of a not necessarily unwanted lines, but I don't want it to be outlined in terms of, you know, it's not, this is not holy swear. Hey, welcome to Creative Discourse. So what I was saying, I don't want to get into that feeling of painting between the lines, right? So this is not a coloring book. So I want to kind of create a shape rather than just line. So I'm slowly softening it and incorporating it together. And I'm trying to still keep the shape, right? Because these harsh lines, they look kind of cool, and I know that I would love to keep them there for the, you know, for the kind of a cool effect. But the other thing that I'm certain about is that they're kind of, believe it or not, breaking the illusion that I'm trying to create here, because it's outline and it's kind of a but what it does is create a barrier between one tone and another, and I can't really judge it properly. So that's why I have to, not I have to, it's not like you must, no one's telling you to do it, because there's plenty of examples in modern painting where they leave these lines, especially in the painting. But I find it way more pleasing and attractive when you hide in painting, not in other medium, in painting and oil painting especially, not necessarily when you hide your lines, but when you control them, and instead of creating lines, because there is no line that it's drawn around my face, it's just a one value against another value that is in the background, which creates that effect of space. So outlined always break the three-dimensional illusion for me, because it creates a cutout instead of continuous transition. And I like continuous transitions. Like when you almost can't see what's happening, and when one shape ends, another starts. And maybe I would need like something, this might be a little too light, so let me just darken it a touch. Even more. I'm not familiar with these pigments, so it takes me a while to like mix the proper. I'm sorry, my apologies. Okay, let me just get back to this. It's just an unexpected phone call. Okay, see, right now I'm moving somewhere. It was me calling you. Okay, sorry, I couldn't resist. Oh, I wish that would be, you know what, that would be something. I don't really, DM, I know your joke. I know your joke. That's so good. It's so good. It's really, really cool. It's really cool. And we're just, in my head, I started immediately that kind of a beautiful, beautiful. Just let me rephrase that. Let me put it. Let me. It's like the visuals. Like, how are you going to call me? It's so funny. It's so funny. Like, how are you going to manage that? Oh, that's so cool. Maybe video call. Exactly, yeah, video call. All right, this is starting to pick up the. I'm glad you're enjoying my jokes. Oh, dude, I love it. I love it. I like to laugh. I really do. It's just something, and I like to, let me rephrase it. I don't like to laugh at other people. I like to, well, what's the proper wording? I like to laugh with other people, even though they're making fun of themselves. I just, I like to, I love to make fun of myself as well, because I think that I'm pretty dorky, kind of a, awkward, funny little dude. And I have a lot of friends that they just enjoy to make fun of me for being a painter. It's just, it's not really, what would you say? It's not really manly. Manly per se, profession. But I'm starting to, because right now we created kind of an arrow right here. That's the direction pushing right there. It's giving me that urgency that it's sliding down. Yeah, it's great to laugh with people. Absolutely, I love it. I love it, and especially because it's just don't get me wrong, I like to laugh, when I'm watching some videos and I'm alone, but laughing with other people, oh man, it's just, laughter is so contagious. It's like yawning. Is yawning contagious actually, or it's just us who thinks that it is? There's another thing that is happening here with the composition is that the redness with a little bit of that black and white creates a beautiful, beautiful purples right now. Oh man, I kind of like it. So I can start working with more abstract shapes. Nice, nice. It's just a weird combination that I'm not, it's not my combination. I don't really use it that often because I'm not, I've really talked about multiple times about limited palette, but I use something that is, palette that is limited in terms of thinking about pigments, but I have a lot of different colors on the palette, but they're always in terms of, they're always somehow related to a limited palette. Ooh, what if I like right now, the little greens that are showing through, which are not greens, they're just a little bit of a, well, they are green because it's a black, white, and a bit of a yellow, which gives kind of a greenish feel to it. But since it's mixed through black, which is very, very dark blue, it's less, it's not like a poison green, or it doesn't, let me just maybe desaturate it even a little bit more. Okay, yeah, that's the one I'm looking for. It's more like a harmonized green, so let's see how is this going to work. Oh yeah, now we're cooking with gas. Maybe a little lighter. So I'm in the shape correction mode. So what I'm trying to do right now is to really push the main shape. Since I feel that I have it right now, that I'm on the right track. So I'm trying to refine it. I love how your painting looks now, a beautiful blend of red, orange, blue, and purple. Yeah, it's kind of a, again, this is that bad painting Friday where I'm just, oh, what happened? Like out of nowhere, we have something interesting, something abstract. It has the urgency. It almost, we went from the feeling of, remember last time I talked about Exupéry and the Little Prince book, that it looks like Little Prince, it looked like a naive, childish painting created by adult that doesn't know how to paint, and trying to put thought, like not thoughts necessarily, but trying to put a deep meanings into very simple subject with like really kind of a, what would be the word? It was so, I don't even know the word, but anyway, what I'm trying to say is that we moved from a kind of a physical, not physical, what's the word? From literal, I can't pronounce that, from something that is very concrete and existing. Let's say that, like when it's supposed to be a boat, it's a boat. When it's supposed to be grass is green, so there's green. Sky is blue, so we're going to put the blue there. we went from that kind of a really naive representation to abstract representation, and it gave to this little sketch way more character. So it has, and the thing is, and I talked about this, and I might be repeating myself over and over again, but I truly believe, I really believe that this is that kind of a, for me specifically, it's this is the most fun way to create something new and something unexpected. I would never be able to arrive to this any other way. I believe that I wouldn't be able to, because this has nothing to do, this is not pre-planned, this is not premeditated, this is not something that I wanted to paint, this is something that happened based on all these experiences. And I harmonized everything with I wanted to do something for another group of students that I was describing something, and by accident I took every first thing that was in my reach, which was the Sanguina or Sepia. I don't remember which one is this one. Both of them probably. I don't know. And I just covered it all, which gave me a little bit different kind of a feel to it. And suddenly, all the adjustments that I did to my palette kind of, they were keyed towards that redness. And right now the redness, it's not as red as it was, but it kind of gave me a little different starting point to work with, which is by pure accident. It's not, you know, I did not think about this specifically. I was not aware of this phenomena when I, you know, pick up that red. I kind of assume that nothing bad is going to happen because I can always paint over it, and that is probably for, and this might be slightly controversial, but compared to what I typically talk about, but not knowing what's going to happen, but having that kind of a leap of faith really works well when it comes to exploring and the composition, which is in exact kind of a contrast or opposite because the moment I know what I'm going, when I have my composition locked in, I prefer to know what my pigments are doing, so I don't really waste my time with correcting the mistakes, right? So it has not knowing what your pigments are doing and how they're going to react to each other has its place and its benefit when it comes to painting, but you better recognize, you have to realize when the moment that the opportunity presents itself, then, you know, like, oh, let's go for it. Let's investigate how far I can push this. And maybe it's time for me to, again, put it upside down and seek or look for or search for some other adjustments that I need to do, right? And I'm really loving the play of the colors right now, right here. I wish you were here in the studio with me and you can see the richness and crispness of the color. That's something, lately this excites me so much, more than anything else, the beautiful pigments. Oh wow, okay, all right, now we're cooking with gas. Now we're very close to my hero, Turner. Well, one of my heroes. He was so brave, and I talked about him a lot. Amongst the other ones, you know, like, of course, Rembrandt. It's so refreshing to have. This is probably not the best book that you can get, right? It's very much like you know, like a small budget, you know, kind of a pocketbook. I think I bought this. I'm pretty sure that I bought this in London when I was in. Yeah, this is about, yeah, beautiful. I'm just I'm sorry, I just got froze because I'm looking into my. Okay, there it is. There it is. I'm looking into my book, and just the simplicity of like how he created, and this is crazy. Like check out how he created those, oops, those waves. Oops, am I going to destroy the book? Hopefully not. Those waves are just, there it is. Those waves are just brush strokes that like the way how he applied the pigment with the watercolors, the movement of the brush, it was into a dry surface, created kind of the bubbling of waves. Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool. It's so good. It's so good. I wonder how conscious he was about that. I'm in love with this color mix. It already excites me. I can only imagine how it looks like in real life. Yeah, it's just it's not something that I usually, you know, it's not in my color palette. This is not something that I would do or I would use all the time. Yeah, Bed Painting Friday. Let's go for it. Yeah, that's a beautiful example of a contrast. Yeah, I mean, Turner really knows his stuff. He really knows how to connect things. And that's, you can see, and especially, I think that, especially when it comes to watercolors, you really, really have to know how to blend things properly together. I know that for me, especially, I really, the best results that I have with watercolors is when I control a flow of water on the paper. I think that's when when things really stand out for me. Maybe this was a, see, I put it upside down and immediately I felt like this needs to go darker because I wanted to, and it has to go the other way around. This should probably be darker. Right here should be the contrast. And this, as it turns away from us, goes the other direction. So let me correct that a little bit. It's not a big deal, but still I have to be aware of these things. And another important part, because of you, I'm going to experiment with that palette soon. Okay, all right, yeah, go for it, go for it. But with this, here's the thing. I cannot right now stop exploring, right? Even though if I like this, I can't just stop and be like, oh, this is cool. I'm not gonna, do anything else there anymore. Because that would prevent from me to maybe finding something even better. So I have multiple options. I can leave this as is and move to another, another scrap paper that I have here or another sketch. Or I can, be brave and continue. I want to continue. Not necessarily because I'm brave, but more like well, I don't think about my stuff as something precious anymore. I used to. I think everybody does at the beginning. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you do, DM. I'm pretty sure you do. I'm checking whether or not my. True, it's a bad painting Friday after all. Yeah, it's a bad painting Friday, exactly. So I can't just. I should not allow that feeling of that something is happening here dominate. So I'm gonna maybe soften this a little bit here. And again, because I want to play with the shape before anything else. And I'm painting upside down, why not? Yeah, cool. I like this way more. I think I see the vision now a little better. Anyway, be right back, tea time. I keep on forgetting to drink when I do art stuff. Yeah, man, go for it, definitely. I just, I have to brew a little bit more of tea myself as well. I guess it shouldn't be, yeah, there should be ad in 2 minutes, so we're just gonna go into ad break. See, the ad break should help us to remember to take breaks whenever you work. Okay, I have this maybe a little bit here. Just to see what's happening, because I don't like the. So I can see where's the inner part of that boat and what's the outside. Oh, perfect timing. I'll go ahead and brew myself some tea. Yeah, go for it. Let's go. I can. My mom is watching as well. Awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, there is that urgency there that I was looking for. Well, this made me happy a little bit more today. Okay, so what would be the next step right now in order for me to continue? Maybe I should brew some tea as well. Or maybe I could start working a little bit on that figure there and see where that takes us. Let me maybe, before that, actually correct the back area a little bit here so I can see better what's happening here. Brush gosh, it's too wet. Too wet. This is going to be too light, but never mind. That's just for me to see it. Yeah, cool. Correct it right now. A little darker right here. I have to say that I really enjoy using these kind of a mixed media ideas. All right. Cool, so I have could maybe push it here as well, a little darker. Yep. Okay, let's right now shape that a little bit better. Okay, so I created a forward movement. It's leaning a little bit back, or a little bit to a side in that kind of a I should get rid of this dark line right here. It's just breaking the illusion. Yeah. Let me work on this one a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more even. All right. Get a little darker value. Again, experimenting with a little bit of that green. Kind of a, it's not green, it's a desaturated value that is a little bit more. Back with the tea and blanket. Okay, right on, right on. I'm going to offset this a little bit to introduce a little bit of that greenish hue. Okay. All right, all right, all right. Cool. And then question is right now, this is going to be I'm thinking, compositionally, again, compositionally that something wants to be here. I don't know what, something wants to be there. Do you feel it the same way that I do? Something would like to be here, maybe. I don't know, something. So this could end right here. I would give it a little bit of a little notch. Okay, I wanted to create here a little bit of a, like a, not necessarily a plane break, but a little break of that shadow, and to create a little bit maybe like a shadow that goes right here on the top of it, so it's not consistent and there is something in the way. Okay, nice, nice. Right here. Cool, cool. This shadow. Another thing is this should go a little lower, even, I think, because, or this has to go a little lower, maybe even. So it's open a little bit more even. Or even more open, rather. So this angle has to be steeper, because what I'm looking at is the distance right here and the distance right here of the shadow, so they correspond properly. Not necessarily because they have to, but these are, if you remember, these are the little things that I like to use and put there to link this abstract shape to some sort of a, that it has some kind of a explanation in the real world. Let's see if this works. Yeah, cool. And let's make it a little lighter inside. And a little bluer, maybe even. Darker. Even darker. A little warmer. Cool. And a little bit more here. Especially here. So I'm playing with the shape a little bit more and refining it slowly, step by step, just to get a little bit more of the. Another thing that I should do, just so I can, again, see what's happening, because that's what bothers me, is that I don't have the edge right here, right now. It's kind of a, difficult to judge the whole composition then. Because I want to do some compositional adjustments right now. So I want to see the whole thing in the frame, right? All right, so we have this, we have that. I have a little bit of, Yeah, behind part is a little too small and too short perhaps, but that's okay because I don't want to go further. And what would happen, hear me out here, what would happen if we add something here? Because I really want to add something here. I don't know what though. And should it be dark or should it be light? I don't know. Let's try. I want to put dark, so let's put light. Since this is a bad painting Friday. So I wanted to go dark, but because I want to harmonize it with this. But then if I go like a really light right here in the corner, maybe something like this. And I don't know what this is. This is just something light right here as the offset. Or even, not offset, to push this even more here. And maybe light and slightly warm. And when I say warm, I didn't mean like a, I shouldn't say warm. Warm, no, let me take it back. It's not supposed to be warm. It's a little bit more saturated because it's kind of a dull right now. So let's see what's gonna happen here. So I cleaned my brush and right, see what's gonna happen this right now here. And these are just the random marks. What's gonna happen? Oh man, that might actually work. I would be surprised if this actually end up in the last, maybe a little bit here. In the last like a composition, but I think that this might actually be something to explore. I don't really like the shape that I created here, but that's okay. For now, because I still don't know what this should be. The question is, should I push it maybe even higher up here, perhaps? Something light right here to create kind of a weird kind of a feeling there. Okay, all right, all right. I'm starting to believe what's happening right now a little bit. Okay, I have a little offset right there. The shape is not right, but the position of the light spot there works for me very well, even though it looks weird. I know it looks weird on the camera, but it makes sense to me in terms of a contrast. Yeah. I'm thinking maybe it could be a building in the background. Maybe it could be well, actually, those could be clouds. Those could be clouds. I don't know. I'm trying to right now to see something in that abstract shape right there. I think my camera is going to die. I have to connect it to a charger. Let's see. Is it going to happen? I'm afraid that I'm going to drop something down. Okay, I need this to be right here. If only you could see this. This is just so funny. The stuff that I'm doing here is really, well, let's call it not really oh, I'm sorry. Is it charging? Charging. Okay, cool. All right. Cool. A good piece of art. Are you a professional? Oh, hey man, I would really. Where have you gone, bro? I'm sorry. I was just my camera wanted to. My camera needed. I'm sorry. I'm just. I'm trying to check if everything works. My camera was out of battery, so I had to go behind the scenes and connect it to a charging station. So yeah. Well, you're asking me if I'm a professional, and well, yeah, I would consider myself a professional, but depends on. Could you be more specific? Am I a professional imposter? I guess so. Yeah, for sure. I have a DM. I'm pretty sure that you don't know what I'm talking about right now, but on the YouTube, I have another question from the chat. So that's what I'm answering. I'm trying to stream simultaneously on YouTube and on Twitch for now. You kind of figured it out. There's from YouTube. Yeah, I should probably play the. I should probably push these subtitles on the screen, but then I felt that they're kind of in the way. of, of while I'm working, so I prefer to read them out loud. So I have this shape right here, and I'm really, I don't want to say that I don't know what necessarily to do with it. I kind of like what's happening here, and I don't know how to, maybe this might be too much, these 3 points right here. So I might get rid of this and see if this one alone works on its own. And then next part should be probably me focusing a little bit more on this shape to clarify it and make it a little bit more more developed, because I think that that's something that holding it back. So I did a couple sketches of that figure there, but I did not really choose any specific one. So maybe, since it's a Bad Painting Friday, maybe I could just sketch something in directly right now and not really thinking about concrete stuff, right? So I can just flow naturally through the process. Yeah, maybe let's do that. I don't know, maybe, you know what? Let's have fun with it. So I'm just going to mix, if this is dark, maybe what if I put a little lighter value right here and see what's gonna happen if I make this lighter. So this, what I'm testing right now, it's whether or not this figure should be darker than the background or lighter than the background. What will be more beneficial? Or should it stay the same value as the background and just shift temperature? Maybe shifting temperature will be the coolest result. Not necessarily the most, well, not necessarily the easiest, that's for sure. I mean, this is annoying. How do I don't even know how to squeeze acrylics out of the tube. So yeah, let's move towards that kind of a lighter, or actually the same value, but let's make it kind of desaturated. Let me mix more. So maybe something like this. That is a okay, yeah, well, maybe you could, oh yeah, I got it now. See, Bad Painting Friday, it goes from lighter against the dark background. Okay, yeah, cool. Yep. And as it gets lower, it's get darker and connect the shape together. Oh yeah, now we're cooking with gas. Let me just switch it real quick upside down so I can see what I'm doing. Yep. Cool. I think this was the missing piece, and maybe a little bit of this grayness right here would help to knock this down just a bit, just a touch, so it's not that much in my face. And then perhaps I can always go over that with some darker value. This might maybe go a little darker. I don't think I like this to being too much. This was too much attention. That should be like a little kind of a little piece of rock right there. And I kind of like how it works right now. And maybe a little small one. Like a little imperfection in, not imperfection, little interest in on the ground. So it doesn't look just flat. So I want to introduce a little bit of maybe shrubbery there, or that kind of stuff. Later on, not right now. It's just I see this being too sharp. Let me get a little bluer, a little desaturated here. I want to correct that kind of a shadow feel that I have right here. Maybe it should go darker. This might be a little too much. A little bit of white. Cool. Yep. Just a bit of a transition here, and maybe transition here. A little bit more pigment. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I think this one works right now pretty well. The combination with dark and light, and right now we have kind of a randomness there, and also some concrete stuff. Oh yeah, this is a really good save from the previous sessions where I was just maybe not into this, or I don't know, like I was struggling to find a rhythm, and I'm feeling a little better right now with this. Maybe I could actually push it a little bit more this way right here, so this could go lighter here. So I have light against the dark, dark against the light, right? And that's how I move, that I made the kind of a shape of a figure a little bit more interesting. Maybe some kind of a develop it a little bit more. Maybe it could go a little bluer here. And when I say bluer, I don't mean that it's going to be blue. I mean a little bit more cooler, purplish like. So it kind of disappears, or not necessarily disappears, but connects with the background. So there's no clear, kind of like an obvious transition there. Maybe a little bit of that, this greenish there. Oh yeah, that's the one. Because since I'm working with this particular palette, I have to work a little harder, I have to say, with, and what about this? I'm gonna be crazy, but just, you know, this creative moments that we have together here. It's kind of a, where do I have my, where did I put it? Okay, well, I'm looking for that little Conte crayon piece. Never mind, I'm gonna use this one. Maybe if I, push it this way here. Just a little bit of a, and I'm playing with just a randomness of what's happening here. Just a little bit of randomness. Giving some indications that something might be in the background. But I don't want to specify this because there's no one cares. No one cares. It's just, I want to show that there is some kind of a horizon feeling to it, right? This might be a little too much. Never mind. Okay, cool. So I have this. Kind of a neat looking little kind of a boulder, that's just a little rock right there. And break that a little bit here, a little bit more. Shape. Cool. This is maybe too much. I don't know. I'm still not feeling it. What would be the rotation of his body? He's like this. So there will be a shoulder right here. Maybe something going this way. Maybe some cut here. Well, this is a little. I don't want to say it's complicated, but I have to be precise. His face would be probably somewhere here. Let me hit it with a little bit of a touch right here. I want to maintain that lighter value there. Cool. Maybe there could be something right here. again, slowly adjusting these. Yep. Maybe I could use this one actually, the one sketch that I was working on. This might actually work there. I don't think you're going to be able to see it, but there's like a little sketch that I was working on yesterday. I had a moment, and I was looking for the silhouettes, and actually this might work there. Maybe, I'm not sure. So I could add a little bit of this, a bit of this, a bit of this, a bit of the blue, to turn it towards the purple a little bit more, and it could go this way. So I will maintain this shape. You like it? Oh, cool. Thank you, Dan. It's just something that I was playing with yesterday. The problem is that with this one, you won't be able to see the face, which I'm not saying that it's necessary, but I like to put little indications of face there. I hope that my face is not in so I can actually add face there by not adding it there. And okay, all right. Moving slowly. Moving slowly, okay. Another thing could be, again, refine the shape a little bit more so it doesn't feel so it doesn't feel that foreign to this whole painting. Okay. And again, this is just having fun with the composition. This is nothing, nothing is set in stone. I can just move this around and back and forth. That's why I'm keeping it so loose. And I know that I'm repeating myself, but I have to remind this to myself all the time, that there is nothing that's going to happen if this turns out to be bad painting. So if I'm repeating myself, then it's because I need to remind myself that there is no end of the world if something goes wrong. So I'll put the arm right here, maybe this way. Maybe even more towards here, right? Cool, so it's gonna look like this should probably go more up here and down here, this way. I'm just playing with the silhouette and I want to show the kind of feeling of falling down. Okay, cool, nice. I could also introduce a little bit more of a some kind of a yep, a little bit more here, and then maybe I could get rid of these lighter values here with that redness again, just to quickly kind of blend it together with that. Okay, that might be a little too much, but that's cool because right now I can go with the brush and smudge it away a little bit. So it's going to incorporate nicely there. Okay, cool. So I have it this. Okay, nice. Right. And I need more pigment on the top. Right here, and soften it again, so it does not jump out too much. And then little lighter value right here as it's going outside. Another hand, maybe right here. Cool. Yep. I don't necessarily know what figure wears. I just want, the only thing that I know is just maybe because I was playing with a little bit more like a modern theme. And it's just because I felt that lately I got too much into historic paintings. So now I want to do something a little bit more modern for myself. All right, yeah, we're getting somewhere. I think. All right, so there's a movement. But I feel that I lost that urgency. So I have to go back to that shape and start thinking about how to bring that kind of a streamlined, pointy feeling back to painting. I think that maybe shadow should be extended a little bit. Yeah, that's gonna help. Yep. Okay. So shadow, this should extend. Just get a little bit more. this a little bit. Okay. Yep. So right now it's pushing a little bit more this way. Nice. Cool. I can correct that one. And I think that this needs to go a little bit more this way so it doesn't turn away from us. So let me just hit it with a little lighter value here. So it curves this way. Which I believe could give it a little bit more of that kind of a pointy direction that way. And also, I should maybe focus right here a little bit more to correct this shape, because I think that but it needs to be this way. Maybe it should be this way right now even more. So it's going to go swoosh this direction, swoosh. What a world. What a world. What a word. I haven't used it for a while. Swoosh. Like it. Okay, and let me open this a little bit more. What time is it? Yeah, I have to go. Wow. I want to continue working. Today I'm just have another things to deal with. Again, working on commercial commissions, so let's lock in this. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think this is gonna work a little better. And my camera died, so I guess me trying to charge it was not successful. That's my cue to end the stream. So yeah, I don't know why it does not want to charge itself. It's too much for it. So anyway, I'm going to stop right now, right here. But this was a really, really successful bed painting Friday. It needs more power, maybe. I am pretty sure it needs more power. But right now, I should sometimes I should point my camera towards everything that is happening behind the scenes, how bad and random things are, and how very ghetto and unsafe it is up here. So it will be fun for sure for you to see that. So anyway, we are here with that bed painting Friday for now. It has that kind of a randomness. We went from very. Let me maybe move this into the middle, so you know what I'm talking about. Since the other camera died, let me just make it bigger, so you have a better understanding what's happening. So it's still in that kind of a weird stage. Maybe you're not a professional painter, but a professional ghetto. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm professional ghetto something. That goes back to YouTube comments that if I'm a professional, I guess I'm not. It looks good. Okay, all right, cool. Thanks, DM. I think it has potential. I'm kind of liking decisions that we made together. When it comes to that randomness and composition, and let's see how far I can push it. I also, there's some resemblance of a figure there that I can start working with. I have most of the feeling there, that urgency, and then falling on side, which I wanted to capture. And these are the things that I'm playing lately a little bit more, is that looking and trying to find, trying to describe certain, how you call it, emotions, not some sensation, right? So that, and describe it not with words, but I'm trying to describe it a little bit more with pictures and shapes, and this is one of them. So this is like an experimental, and I'm kind of surprised how far we got only with Bed Painting Friday, and just working on this little sketch. So maybe this one day going to be a larger painting, and I can actually truly, I can imagine that it could be. I could make it. You know what? Maybe I should actually do it. A large piece out of this, like a really good one, like really big one, for myself, for my studio, to reminding me that it's not always a smooth sailing, and there are some some sensations that you are not in control, perhaps, as how would you call it, as that's for sure. Yeah, that it would be kind of fun. I can imagine that this could be 2x3, or actually it would be 3x2, 3x190, yeah, 3x190, so almost a life size. So I could actually put it somewhere on the wall here in the studio, so I don't have empty space. Yeah, let's see what's gonna happen. I'm excited. Oops, I'm sorry. I'm hitting the camera. So yeah, let's do that. Let's see what's gonna happen. Let's see how far I can push it. I hope that you're gonna continue creating, even though I'm not online. That you're gonna push it, and I'm looking forward to another session, another stream, another discourse. So yeah, let's see what's up later. All right, guys, it was awesome today. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for participating. DM, as always, you are awesome. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being here and joining me. Yeah, we'll continue. Have fun with yours. Yeah, hopefully I'll see you again soon. Yeah, maybe tomorrow even. I don't know. I'm feeling the urgency of continue working on this. I don't know how. So, but I have to switch to another work right now. But I really feel urgency to work on this. Thank you for your streaming professional get or something. Yeah, that was a kind of a cool, quick question from someone. I don't know. I hope it wasn't bot. It was someone real that had genuine interest in what's going on here. Bed Painting Friday. That's what's up. All right. Yeah, I want to continue. So I think that the urgency of moving forward is going to bring me tomorrow as well. So I hope to see you soon. Don't forget to stay cool, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye-bye. Take care.